This is QTV Nightly News and I am Jennifer Sonko. Thank you for joining us. And a reminder that you can also join us on Q Radio 103.3 FM here at the main news headlines. President Adama Barrow officially inaugurated the new multi-purpose business complex of the Gambia Teachers Union Cooperative Credit Union in Bakote on Wednesday. The United Democratic Party, the country's main opposition party, has selected Usainu Dabo as its candidate to contest the 2026 presidential elections. In a press release from the State House on Wednesday, 10th September 2025, President Adama Barrow has announced a cabinet reshuffle with key government appointments. The Quest Institute of Technology, formerly QuantumNet, in partnership with Secure Report, held an award ceremony for immigration staff at Banjul International Airport after a 6-week intensive IT training on a border security and service delivery. In international news, today, 10th September, marks World Suicide Prevention Day, recognized by the UN to reaffirm global commitment and action to prevent suicides. And in sports news, the Gambia ended their September World Cup qualifiers window with a 2-0 win against Burundi in a home match played in Nairobi on Tuesday night. Where the main headlines and now the news in detail. Do stay. Thank you for staying with us. This is QTV News and I am Jennifer Sonko. President Barrow officially inaugurated the new multi-purpose business complex of the Gambia Teachers Union Cooperative Credit Union in Bakote on Tuesday. QTV's Doliam Camera was there and she fastened this report.
The event began with a ribbon-cutting ceremony followed by a guided tour of the new facility, which will accommodate administrative offices and financial service outlets for members. GTUCCU Chief Executive Officer Dauda Kujabi describes the new complex as a symbol of progress, resilience, and the union's renewed commitment to serving teachers. Ismaila Cisse, president of the Gambia Teachers Union, hailed the development as a testament to the sacrifices and contributions of teachers across the country. He also appealed to the government and stakeholders to continue supporting teachers across the country.
To consider the pressing need to enhance the working and living conditions of our dedicated teachers and education support personnel. Teachers and education officers play a pivotal role in shaping the future of our nation, and it is crucial that they are provided with a conducive environment that allows them to flourish professionally.
Fode Sanyang, CEO of the National Association of Cooperative Credit Unions of the Gambia, NACOG, Dr. Paul J. Mendy, Second Deputy Governor of Central Bank of the Gambia, and Abdul Karim C., Chairperson, Board of Directors of GTUCCU, all expressed delight that GTUCCU continues to set the pace for cooperatives in the Gambia.
That since January of 2025 this year, we have operationalized the Credit Union Movement Professional Program. This is the CUMP program. This is a 12-month accredited program leading to a diploma in credit union management.
At the end of June 2025, the total assets of credit unions in the Gambia stood at 4.39 billion, representing a growth of 26% from the same period last year.
The Gambia Teachers Union Cooperative Credit Union, under the philosophy of people helping people, is reported as the biggest credit union in the Gambia and the 10th largest credit union in the African continent. With a total asset of over 1.4 billion Gambian dollars as per 34 December 2024.
President Adama Barrow congratulated GTUCCU on what he described as a landmark achievement in the country's economic development. The president also highlighted his government's ongoing commitment to the education sector.
My government remains committed to partnering with the GTUCCU to strengthen these efforts. Together, we will continue investing in education, not only as a sector, but also as a national priority.
Founded in August 1996 by Babokar Ojuf, now Minister of Trade, Regional Integration and Employment, the GTUCCU has grown into one of the country's leading financial institutions for education sector workers, providing both economic empowerment and social support to its members.
GTUCCU is not just a financial institution, but a lifeline for Gambian teachers, providing them dignity, financial stability, and opportunities to grow beyond their salaries. For QTV News from the new complex in Bakote, I am Loliam.
Congratulations. Now moving on, the United Democratic Party, the country's main opposition party, has selected Usainu Dabo as its candidate to contest the 2026 presidential election. The decision will see him face off against President Adama Barrow, the man who defeated him in 2021 election. More in this report.
Lawyer Dabo's victory following a final round of voting was clear-cut. He secured 65 votes, with 8 votes for Bori Toure and 2 votes for Amadou Sane, the final 2 contenders. The initial field had consisted of 11 people vying for the post. However, with the withdrawal of Kanifing Municipality Mayor Talib Ahmed Bensouda, many expected Lawyer Dabo to triumph. Once Mayor Bensouda withdrew from the race, many expected a Dabo victory. There were colorful scenes as party supporters gathered outside the party's Manja headquarters. Usainu Dabo's selection, barring an unforeseen coalition, is likely to see the 2026 presidential race as a straight runoff between the two frontrunners from 2021. In the last election, President Barrow was re-elected with just over 53% of the vote, with Usainu Dabo scoring just under 28% in second place, and Mama Kande of the GDC a distant third with just over 12% of the vote. Following Mayor Bensouda's unsuccessful bid to be the flag bearer, there have been reports in the press of efforts to reconcile various sections of the party. Looking ahead, the party will want to live up to its name and present a united front. Ansmane Sonyase for KTV News.
Congratulations to Usainu Dabo. Now, in a press release from the State House on Wednesday, 10th September 2025, President Adama Barrow has announced a cabinet reshuffle with key government appointments.
Government appointments are as follows. Honorable Babakar Usmaila Juf, formerly Minister of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, has been reassigned as Minister of Defense. Meanwhile, Mr. Modu Sise, Auditor General, has been appointed as the new Minister of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment. In a related development, Mr. Cherno Amadou Sow, Director of Internal Audit, has been appointed Auditor General, whilst Mrs. Masire K. Drame has been named Acting Director of Internal Audit.
On Tuesday, the Quest Institute of Technology, formerly known as QuantumNet, in partnership with Security Port, held the award ceremony for immigration staff at the Banjul International Airport, following their completion of 6 weeks intensive IT training course on strengthening border security and service delivery. Mam Nabuka has the rest of that story.
This event comes against the backdrop of changing regional and global migration trends, highlighting the need to strengthen the capabilities of immigration personnel to maintain national security and provide effective services to travelers. The training, the third of its kind, spanned 6 weeks and involved 15 GID staff. The curriculum was crafted to provide participants with the practical and technical expertise, as well as the ethical considerations and skills required to address challenges in relation to migration, border management, border security, and improvement of service delivery and cybersecurity awareness in the Gambia. Anna Seka Sen, the Managing Director of Quest Institute of Technology, and Yahya Almatar Job, the Training Manager, hope that the trainees' newfound skills will assist them in being efficient in their line of duty.
You've acquired insights into cutting-edge technologies, refined processes, and advanced techniques that will contribute to more seamless and secure experience for travelers passing through this airport. And we are confident that you will leverage these newfound skills to enhance the quality of service for our passengers and people at the border.
As guardians of the Gambia's border and data systems, your role is not just technical, it is fundamental to our national integrity. Let this training be more than a memory. Let it be a turning point.
Fatim Baji, the General Manager of Security Port, is optimistic that the module's land will assist participants in managing sophisticated systems moving forward.
I'm confident that the outcome of this training, which should highly benefit the Gambia Immigration Department, will impact the work of immigration officers, whether they're posted here at the Gambia International Airport or any other place. It fills the gaps, it strengthens the border security system knowledge of the country, and more than anything, it ensures that the transition between the public-private partnership of Secure Port and the Gambia government is ongoing, and we're building a technical team within the government.
Louis Mendy, the Assistant Director General of Immigration, advised the awardees to translate the training they've gained into practice.
I urge you all to make maximum use of the skills acquired, not only to strengthen airport operations, but also to mentor and guide your colleagues who did not have the opportunity to be part of this training.
Participant Mudu Lamin Diouf highlighted the significant benefits of this training.
We're dealing with data, and then people's data privacy has to be definitely protected. And then we have learned on how to, build up a code of conduct through them, and we have also learned how to manage the data administration, and also we've interact with the participants and the lecturers, and then we really learn a lot from them. During the course, we've gone up a stage whereby we haven't been there before, and then with the team we can able to build even a server for the Gambia Immigration Department.
Certificates were awarded to the 15 participants in recognition of their dedication and excellence during the training. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
From that story by Mam Nabuka, we will now go for a short commercial break, and when we return we have national, international and sports news stories to stay.
Immunisation ba ñàkku mooy li gën a wóor te dal xel ci aar xale yi ci feebar mbaa jàngoro yu mel ni ngas ñu naan ko measles, feebaru saxat su bon si di tuberculosis, polio, feebari sedda ñu naan ko pneumonia, cervical cancer, tétanos ak yeneeni jàngoro. Xale bu juddu dafa soxla ay pengu si saasi mbaa bés bu mu juddu, maanaam balaa mooy am 20 waxtu ak ñeent. Am na solo lool xale yi mbaa tuut tànk yi góor ak jigéen jël pengu yiñ leen tegtal ci waxtu bu ñu ko war a jëlee comme ni ñu ko bindee ci seen kayiti noosi mbaa infant welfare card. Xale yépp war nañoo am bépp pengu bu ñu soxla, bokk na ci xale yi laago yi. Xale yi war nañoo jël te matal bépp pengu bu ñu war a am ci seeni njëlbeeni at ak ay yeneeni pengu bu ñu duggee ci seen ñaareeli at. Am na ci pengu yoo xam ne xale yi dinañu ko jël ay yooni yoon ngir gën leen a mun a aar. Ñuy ñaax waajuri ak ñi yore xale yi di leen toppatoo ne saa yu ñuy dem lopitaan ñu yóbbaale kayti noosi xale yi mbaa infant welfare card ngir am lu wóor ci mbir immunisation bi mbaa ñàkku xale yi mun ngeen a dem ci bérébu fajeekaay bi leen gën a jege. Xibaar bii ñi leen ko indil mooy waa Ministry of Health ànd ak UNICEF, Gavi, WHO ak seen yeneeni naataango.
Supersonics Islamic Insurance ñooy jël benn digital insurance provider ci Gambia bu ànda sharia ñoo leen isil wécceeku technologie yu xarañ ànd ak dal ba seen bunti kër yi. Amal nañ leen bépp façon yi insurance service boo soxla pour ngeen mun a am xel bu dal ak kaaraange saa yoo leen ko soxle su fekkee yaa ngi kër ci yoon wala ci business. Ak Supersonics Islamic Insurance Limited ñëwal nga bokk ci suñ bànneexi liggéey nga xam fu ñu feetoo oo ñu ci +220 5132 319 5132 318 wala 5132 315 wala nga email ñu info@supersonicsinsurance.com wala book nga seetuñu suñ website bi www.supersonicsinsurance.com wala nga seet si ñu Beka Plaza 56 Liberation Avenue Banjul.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Jennifer Sonko. Now, the National Human Rights Commission has convened a forum to promote the rights and well-being of persons with disabilities in the Gambia. Our Bob has the rest of the details.
The gathering brings together government officials, civil society actors, advocacy groups, and development partners to discuss critical issues such as inclusive governance, child participation, economic empowerment, and social protection. The two-day forum seeks to foster dialogue, share best practice, and strengthen collective efforts toward building a more inclusive and equitable society for all Gambians. The forum is a unifying platform to reflect the everyday realities of thousands of Gambians living with disabilities, from children struggling to access inclusive education to adults facing barriers in transport, access to buildings, employment, and health care. Emmanuel Daniel Juve, chairman of the Human Rights Commission, highlights the persistent challenges confronting persons with disabilities in the country.
Persons with disabilities in our country continue to face a lot of challenges. Again, discrimination, stigma, exclusion, and barriers to accessing education, healthcare, transportation, employment, and participation in public life.
Carl Frederick Paul, the UN resident coordinator, reaffirms the United Nations commitment towards supporting the protection and promotion of the rights of persons with disabilities in the Gambia.
We are committed to ensuring that persons with disabilities are supported to become drivers of social change, architects of innovation, and advocates of justice, peace, stability, equality, and development.
Magistrate Mohamed Kurbali, president of the Gambia Federation of Disabled, expressed concern about the living conditions and daily struggles of persons with disabilities.
Persons with disabilities are human beings that are expected to be treated on equal basis with others. Persons with disabilities must coexist and must be included in the community.
The forum is a platform to advance dialogue, policy, and action towards the full inclusion and empowerment of persons with disabilities. Here is Fatou Kinte, the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare.
This program strengthens government capacity, particularly within my ministry, to implement the 2021 Persons with Disabilities Act. Through this initiative, necessary structures, processes, and tools were developed for effective protection and inclusive service delivery, aiming to eradicate all forms of violence and discrimination against persons with disabilities.
The forum underscores the urgency of moving beyond policy commitments, stressing the importance of ensuring effective implementation of legislation protecting the rights of persons with disabilities and delivers real change for persons with disabilities. Today's session concluded with a set of recommendations designed to promote a more inclusive Gambia where the rights and dignity of every citizen are fully respected and protected. For QTV News, I am Our Bob.
From that story by Our Bob, let's now take a look at news beyond our borders. Today, 10th September, marks World Suicide Prevention Day, recognized by the UN to reaffirm global commitment and action to prevent suicides. This year's theme, Changing the Narrative on Suicide, urged society to break the silence, challenge stigma, and foster a culture of understanding, openness, and support. Mam Nabuka has the rest of that story.
World Suicide Prevention Day has been commemorated since 2003. courtesy of the International Association for Suicide Prevention, compassionate discussions about suicide, and also highlights the need for stronger mental health policies, wider access to services, and evidence-based interventions that can save lives. According to the World Health Organization, more than 700,000 people die by suicide each year, making it a leading cause of death worldwide, particularly among young people aged 15 to 29. In the Gambia, suicide rates have remained relatively low, fluctuating slightly over the past 2 decades with 4 deaths per 100,000 people. Physical and especially mental health disabling issues such as depression are among the most common of the long list of complex and interrelated factors, ranging from financial problems to the experience of abuse, aggression, exploitation, and mistreatment that can contribute to the feelings of pain and hopelessness underlying suicide. Additionally, in much of the world, suicide is stigmatized and condemned for religious or cultural reasons, and in some countries, suicidal behavior is a criminal offense punishable by law. This highlights the urgent need for comprehensive intervention strategies, including advocating for mental health policies, supporting local mental health initiatives, and fostering environments where individuals feel safe to share their struggles. Here is Jet Flynn, the Chief Executive of Papyrus, a UK charity dedicated to preventing suicide among young people and promoting positive mental health.
Thinking about suicide isn't comfortable, but it's very common. It's interesting that the International Association for Suicide Prevention, which sort of invented this special day, has used the theme that it did last year, and that tells me something. Change the narrative is not going to happen in a day. It can take a long time. Together, we need to work hard every day, every night, as Papyrus does, to save lives. And that, for me, is what a day like World Suicide Prevention Day is about. Changing the narrative from silence to comfort around suicide.
On this day, as communities unite to honor those lost to suicide and continue to support those who are struggling, the reminder stands that by breaking the culture of silence and challenging the stigma around the act, a future can be had where mental health is prioritized and individuals feel empowered to seek help without fear of judgment. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
Let's stop the stigma now. Now up next, let's take a look at sports news. The Gambia ended their September World Cup qualifiers window with a 2-0 win against Burundi in a home match played in Nyayo International Stadium in Nairobi on Tuesday night. The win moved them to 3rd place in Group F with 2 matches remaining. Our sports reporter Momodo Gajaga was monitoring, and this is his report.
The Gambia defeated Burundi 2-0 on match day 8 of the 2026 African World Cup qualifiers, making it 2 wins in a row in the September window. In their previous match, they had defeated host Kenya 3-1. Aliou Fadera, who started the game as one of the players who didn't play in the win against Kenya, scored from the penalty spot to give the Scorpions the lead in the 34th minute in the first half. The award of the penalty came after a Gambia player was pulled down in the box as he went for a cross sent in from the left wing. The game was stopped for 25 minutes due to floodlights failure. Gambia doubled their lead when Ibu Adams scored a screamer of a left-footed volley, following a beautiful delivery from a corner kick by Aliou Fadera in the 76th minute to seal the win for the Gambia. Their opponents, who were desperate for a win, huffed and puffed but could not get back on terms. Burundi had their moments in the game, including a shot which was blazed over the bar in the first half, and the Gambia keeper Baboucar Gueye was called into action late in the second half to make a save at the near post. Despite those few threats, the Gambia team was calm and resolute at the back throughout the game. This is how coach Jonathan McKinstry reacted to the win against Burundi, a team that defeated the Gambia 3-2 in the reverse fixture.
Yeah, really pleased. This was always going to be a difficult game because when you come into these camps, look, it was obvious that the Kenya game maybe might have taken a little bit more focus because you're playing in front of 50,000 people. They're the home team, and then to come off the high of that win and then come into this game in, quite a small attendance, less than 1,000 people in the stadium, although, the Gambian fans, the community have turned out in their numbers, really pleased with that. And so, but a different type of game, kicking off at 10 o'clock at night, floodlights going out for 30 minutes, it's currently midnight. And the game's just finished, so this was a really crazy sort of situation to find ourselves in. But the guys have worked extremely hard, a 2-0 win, a clean sheet.
There are 2 more matches to be played in October to complete the qualifying rounds. The Gambia face Gabon before ending their campaign against Seychelles. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Before we end this news bulletin, let's recap our main headlines. President Adama Barrow officially inaugurated the new multi-purpose and business complex of the Gambia Teachers Union Cooperative Credit Union in Bakote on Wednesday. The United Democratic Party, the country's main opposition party, has selected Ousainou Darboe as its candidate to contest the 2026 presidential election. In a press release from the State House on Wednesday, 10th September 2025, President Adama Barrow has announced a cabinet reshuffle with key government appointments. The Quest Institute of Technology, formerly QuantumNet, in partnership with Secure Report, held an award ceremony for immigration staff at Banjul International Airport after a 6-week intensive IT training on border security and service delivery. And in international news, today, 10th September, marks World Suicide Prevention Day, recognized by the UN to reaffirm global commitment and action to prevent suicides. In sports news, the Gambia ended their September World Cup qualifiers window with a 2-0 win against Burundi in a home match in Nairobi on Tuesday. Well, that is all we have time for, but before I leave, I have an announcement. I will be away from your screens for a while to pursue a master's degree. Thank you so much for your support. It has been an amazing journey. See you in the near future.